Welcome, everyone. This is Toni Weel from, again, beautiful, sunny Florida. I really need to get some sun. Been staying in my office the whole week. That's not a good thing. And then I look at Gary with that beautiful park in the background. Probably bare feet on the grass, right?
Not yet.
Oh,
Not
well,
yet. I'm sitting on a picnic bench right now.
okay. Well, here I always have to fight off the fire ants. Anyway, we have with
Oh.
us Gary Parent, we have with us Katie, and Sara from Virtuous Unicorns. We figured today we don't do a specific topic because Katie came up with a whole bunch of questions, and I actually copied them and put them in a document because we had how many? 15 or something? They were quite.
Well, we can say there's 15, but really there's a lot more.
Okay, okay. Yeah, the one that was that everybody is actually asking because we talk a lot about the master cleanse and with the maple syrup, and it's really that I know there are actually, well, I know it now, is there are four different maple syrup colors and grades, and you have what they call now the golden maple syrup, and that one is harvested at the beginning of the sugaring season. And then you get the darker one that is amber, and that is harvested in the middle of the season. And then you get a dark, and that is produced well towards the end of the sugaring season. And then you have a very dark one, and that seems to be more bitter and thicker, and that is produced at the end of the sugaring season. And I didn't know that. I so it has to do with when it is harvested.
So, and Tony, I am when this person was asking me, the question was, what do the grades on the maple syrup
Yeah,
mean? Like,
they changed the grades.
yeah,
So since 2024, they don't have the numbers anymore. They just have. I have seen amber and I have seen dark. I have not seen golden or very dark.
okay,
So,
and we're still seeing not we're still seeing like alphabet letters.
oh,
I mean, I've
really?
seen some alphabet letters. But then, so that's why they were wondering, like, because then how do you know which one is the best one? And like you just read four different grades, which one
Yeah,
should we be
The
getting?
dark,
yeah,
The
dark
very
only.
darkest.
Well, dark or the very darkest, because the dark has more minerals in it.
Okay.
exactly. That is what was mentioned too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I do want to say that Costco has their Kirkland brand, which is organic and it's 100% pure US grade A amber color. And it's only $12.59 and it's for a quart
When was the last time you bought it, Sarah?
yesterday.
No, darn it. Here at Costco it was 15 something.
Yeah, but
Mm-hmm.
that's amber,
So
right?
that's
No,
amber
no,
color.
no.
So it's just the
No,
mid
no,
grade.
no. I have the dark
Right.
because
Okay.
I
This
I
is
go
amber.
there. Yeah, we use about one bottle in a week with all the lemon water we use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is for my husband uses that in his smoothies.
Okay.
But so yeah, that's the one that we get in. So
Yeah.
that's our
Yeah,
budget
it
friendly
is
best we can do.
yeah, it's a good one and it's absolutely the cheapest because yeah, I've looked on Amazon. I tried out a few others and no, taste-wise it cannot beat the one from Costco.
And you can also use molasses, not blackstrap. It's kind of like dark maple syrup and then extra dark maple syrup. Well, the extra dark has even more minerals in it. It's more mineral dense. Well, molasses you can use and is delicious. Use blackstrap molasses and that's bitter, but
Yeah.
it also has more minerals in it. So molasses works really well. for people who don't want to use maple syrup. And your body is living on the dark maple syrup or the molasses when you're doing a full cleanse, because you're not eating any solid food. So, and if you do, I don't care if you only do 4 hours, you're giving your digestive system a break. And that's the most important part. And you're rehydrating your body, because everybody's dehydrated. Blue light, and they're going to start putting blue light in all the Walmarts. All their overhead lights will be blue light. Those will dehydrate your cells. So when we're in front of the computer or the phone or whatever we're doing here, right? That's blue light coming into our eyes, and it's causing our cells, it's keeping them from producing water. And that's where actually dehydrating from the inside out because of the blue light. So this is why it's so important to put sodium, real sodium, Himalayan Celtic, or I think it's Baja Gold or Blue Baja or something, but that's the best salt. And you can go online and get that, and you get a lot of it. So even if you paid a lot for it, it's the cleanest salt. I think it's called Baja Gold.
I have been there.
Have you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was on a motorcycle tour in, oh my God, long time ago. And we saw those fields and right at the ocean. So yeah, I've seen it.
Gary, how
Yes.
does that compare to the Redmond's mineral salt?
Redmond makes a good salt. It's just that the Baja salt has been tested for parts per million of plastics in it, and a lot of the contaminants that would be in like sea salt or other things. It's actually being tested for that. So it's one of the cleanest salts you can get.
And it's called Baja Gold Mineral Sea Salt?
I think it's called Baja Gold.
Okay. Yeah, I see it online now.
And it'll last you for a long time because you're only using a pinch of it at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And people want to know the exact amount because it's more about a pinch, like when you're cooking. But if you want an exact amount, 18 grains of salt. So that's why I always tell people, because it's just a pinch, small pinch. If you can taste it, there's too much in there. Okay. And then you can dilute it or let it sit for a while. Make a new one. I've done that before. I've just thrown it out and made another one. Because that's a learning curve. That's what you have to do. And you have to give your body time to respond. But water follows salt, and salt goes into the body. And when it's absorbed into the cell, it sterilizes that cell inside and draws the water in there to hydrate. And at the same time, the cell is opening on the other side, and it's eliminating the acidic waste that was inside that cell. And then the lymph comes along, picks that up, and takes it to the lymph nodes. And part of the problem that some people are having is they're detoxing too fast. And all that is the body is, your detox is breaking more toxins, more acids loose than the body is able to eliminate through the 13 channels of elimination. That's all it is. And when you get your lymphatic system on track, so that as you break things loose, it's able to get rid of it, you won't have any issues at all. Your inflammation will go down, your pain level will go down. Some people push through that, but I believe that's putting the body in even more stress. So I always start people out with 32 ounces of the Master Cleanse, a couple of cups of tea, whether that's green tea or something you want to mix. And you can order that from Toni. And we have a mix that I use. It's like my Heal All tea, and she can mix that for you. It's just the body is really simple. It's a pressure system. And you have to pressurize it through your breath, right? And you expand it. And everything in the body moves when the diaphragm moves. Your blood moves, your lymph moves, your massaging organs and glands, your heart's relaxing. And then when you exhale, it comes back up and it helps to pump the blood. So if you're a shallow breather and this is not pumping well, the diaphragm's not moving up and down to its full extent, then the pump is not pumping as much as it should. This is an assist. Some people believe this is the pump. And all the heart does is make energy through plasma. And I don't know if I agree with that. I don't really care. I just want to know how to manually work this system so that it will correct itself and you will not have dis-ease in your body. 70% of your detox is through your breath. So if you're detoxing and you're doing juices or you're doing fruits or you're doing grapes or whatever it is, they're amazing. But that's only 30%. When you add the breath with that and you start mixing and you start moving air in and out and the fluids start fluctuating and being pressurized, because that's what's happening when you breathe in through your nose and your diaphragm drops, you're forcing the liquids in the body to move back and forth, and that breaks up any congestion. So if you're doing fruits, berries, melons, or even vegetables, and you get that working and you get those liquids pumping through the body, because the two major ones are lymph and blood. Blood is the kitchen, lymph is the bathroom. And all your cancers are all lymphomas, are all in the lymphatic system. So I've explained this many times, but if you had a problem with a bathroom at your house and you called the plumber and he started working in the kitchen, you say, hey man, what are you doing? You're in the wrong room. The problem's in the bathroom. Well, your doctor is your plumber. And he's working in the kitchen trying to fix the bathroom. Just go fix the bathroom and the kitchen will take care of itself. And that's how the body works. It needs to be pressurized and it needs to be depressurized, right? So inhale is pressurizing the body and you want a nice belly breath. You want to feel those ribs open, okay? And when you exhale, you want to feel them go back and you're trying to touch your belly button to your spine so you're getting all the air out, okay? This helps clean those toxins that are in your lungs. It helps clean them out so you can get a deeper breath. Those are the things that just manually make the body perform better. And there are millions of people around the world that are experiencing that right now because they're getting their health back. If you're not involving your breath in your everyday life, then you're missing 70% of the opportunity you have to regain your health, to regenerate, rebuild, revitalize your entire body. Because if the cells are hurting, you're hurting. And they're hurting because they're not taking care of them the way they need to be taken care of. Okay, I'll stop there.
Okay, well, right, that was beautiful, by the way, Gary. Thank you for explaining all that. I was trying to type in my notes section as you were explaining it, just so that I can be better at explaining it to others. Well, right before you shared with us that, Sara, you had just briefly mentioned smoothies, and I can't remember what you said about smoothies, but I have a question about smoothies. So when we are making our juice, like our orange juice, we use a cold press juicer. But there's other juicers out there. Like the citrus juicer where you have to cut the orange in half and you press on it. And it's not highly recommended to use those citrus juicers because they give a heat off through their motor. And sometimes that can ruin the energy or electricity of the fruit. And that's why a cold pressed juicer is better. Well, when we make our smoothies, we're often using like a type of a blender, and that blender engine gives off heat. And so I'm just wondering, does that ruin the electricity, the energy of the fruit, or is this like, don't worry about it as long as you're eating the fruit?
In my opinion, I mean, I guess it really depends on where you're starting from. So like if you're starting new, I mean, at this point, who cares how you get into it as long as you get into it? That's my opinion. And then after that, you can start refining. Because you know, like for people when they're just starting, you don't want to make anything like too overcomplicated for them because a lot of people won't continue. But then after you start doing that, because we used a citrus juicer for a long time, it was easy, it was convenient. We were juicing for 3 people. I mean, it was, you know, it was a big process for every day to do that. And but now we have the one that's like sits on the table and you just it's the lever you pull down. And so it's like a manual kind of juicer. It's a lot more work, but again, we've refined. We it's more of a process. It's not something I don't know. It's like we take the time to want to do it. It's like a whole thing that we do now. And that doesn't bother us anymore. My husband will still make his smoothie though in the Vitamix, but he doesn't turn it on high. He just kind of keeps it low down. So, you know, it tries not to heat up. But I would assume, and Toni, Gary, please, it's the same thing. Like if you're going to try to make a soup, you don't want to get it over, is it 115 degrees or something like that?
Yeah, I think
Or
it's
like when you're
116.
yeah, when you're dehydrating your fruits, like you want to keep it that very low so you're still keeping it raw. Um, that's what I would
Mm-hmm.
suggest. But again, it's just where are you in the finesse? Like when I first started, when we started recycling, everything just went into one thing, and we were like, whatever, we're recycling now. Now it's not we're just recycling; it's how can we reduce so we don't even have to recycle. So it depends on where you start, and it's the same thing with juicing or the same thing with this whole process. You know, just the most important is get into it, and then from there build on it and start making your plan better.
Well said, Sarah. Well said. And I'm in the same boat as you. I started with the citrus juicer. I have the cold pressed juicer. I have a hand pressed juicer. You know, it's just, yeah, you learn as you go. And as you learn, it's like then you realize, you know, this might take a little bit longer. This might be a little bit harder work, but it all of a sudden it's just a priority to you because you've learned, you know better, you know, and you're like, this is important to me and I want to get healthy, and this is the healthiest thing that I can do right now. So thank you for sharing that, Sarah. Does anybody else
Yeah,
want to
and
add anything?
well, I was going to say one more thing, and like I'm sitting here making distilled water for 2 people that both drink a gallon every day. So it's like I'm constantly making distilled water where it would be much easier just to run up to the store and buy, you know, 14 gallons for the week for both of us. But instead, I constantly sitting here making distilled water, storing it in glass jars, putting my beeswax wraps over the top of them, transporting them to my mom. It's again, I'm at that, you know, it's like you kind of level up of where you want it to come from. But in the beginning, I mean, as long as you're doing it, start. That's the most important thing. Is just start, and then from there, build on and learn from there. But yeah, Gary, Toni.
Yeah, you don't want to buy distilled water from a supermarket because we don't know how long it's been sitting there and it carries a negative electromagnetic charge. Distilled water. It's kind of like rain. It's about a 6 pH. The issue is in the plastic bottle, because it's such an astringent, that water is so astringent, it's pulling plastic out of the bottle. And so we'd be ingesting that. So yeah, store it in glass. I did distill water for years. For people that are afraid of it, just put a lemon in it, put some fruit in it, use it in your, if you're going to make a fruit juice or a smoothie or a veggie, use it for the water in it. And it's going to get remineralized and it'll have electrolytes and enzymes in it. And if it, I don't know, the motors, I don't know that they get that hot in the product, because when it comes, if it goes in cold, it comes out cold. It doesn't come out warm or anything. There is an electromagnetic field there that can mess with things from the motor. But even if it cut it down by half, it's still 100% better than what you're doing if you're not doing any at all.
I was thinking about exactly that. It's
Yeah.
like, is a smoothie, is it ideal? No, the whole fruit is ideal. You have to chew it,
Yeah.
but it's not always possible. And as with juices, I rarely juice because I find it way too expensive. Not the juicer, because I have the juicers, but if you want to make a green juice, it's I probably need $20 in veggies and a few apples to even get to barely a liter of juice. You don't even get that. So I make like cold soup. I mix it depending if I want it not all smooth. I put it in the food processor a little bit, chop it up, and otherwise it goes in the blender. And I do use, because that's all I use, is distilled water for everything. Even my cats get distilled water. So, an ideal menu for the day to me is like, yeah, I start my day with the lemon water, and then later on lunchtime or whenever I feel like it, getting hungry, it could be a smoothie with fruit and again the distilled water. And then it could be a salad, or I put the salad in the blender and I make a cold soup. So, and that's pretty much, throughout the day. And of course, in between, you wanna have a handful of grapes, blueberries, whatever is out there, bananas. Um, so it's actually quite easy to get through the day. Just don't do what I did yesterday, eat beans. That's
Okay, you guys, we're going to move on to another question. And we were talking about this a little bit before the show, and I was like, wait, don't speak anymore because we need to do this live so that people hear this. Okay, our good friend, Mr. Gary Parent, twice in our shows has mentioned the iconic foot bath, and people are wondering, what is that? How do I participate in it? How do I make it? How often do you do it? So, Gary and everybody else, can you share with us a little bit more about the iconic foot bath that you keep mentioning?
Yes. Thank you. So the ionic foot bath is you put Epsom salt in water about this deep. You have a tray big enough to put your feet in. And there is a little electrode that sets down in the water. And it activates the Epsom salt. And you have a machine on the side. That's why some of these machines are so expensive. They can be up to $1,000. But they have less costly ones out there, like with everything, right? So the ones that I've been going to, they use the $1,000 machines, and they have this little thing on the side, and it tells you what the electromagnetic charge and all the stuff is that's going into the water. When you put your feet in, you can't feel anything, but the water is moving and the salt is moving, and then all of a sudden you start to see colors start to come up through the water. And as time goes by and you're in this, you're in it like 15 minutes, maybe 20. That water will be the grossest water you ever saw in your life. It'd be green and red and orange and purple and all these are different things that's coming from different areas in the body. It's pulling them out through your feet. I've even had parasites pulled out through my feet, and I have pictures of that. And it can smell like the grossest sewer you ever could imagine. So we use a trash bag in the little dish, put your feet in, and then we take it out, throw it out, and then throw that bag away, wash the dish, put another bag in, and then we do another person. And in the groups that I've been doing this in, could be as many as 8 or 10 people that are waiting, and while one is having that done. So like I said, it's about 15, 20 minutes that you're in the water. But what comes out is unbelievable because there are more pores in the bottom of our feet than the rest of our entire body. That's why our feet sweat so much. So, am I a fan of it? Yeah, I think everybody should do it just to experience it once. And there is a belief that if you didn't put your feet in there and you just left the electronics on with the Epsom salt in there, that the water would end up looking like that. No, that's not true. When you're pulling parasites out of your feet, they're coming from inside you. And all that stuff is coming from inside you. And there are charts. I have charts on my phone that tell me what each color is and where it's coming from and whether it's blood or whatever it is that's coming out of the bottom of your feet. I mean, it is amazing. You have to wash your feet after because when you take them out, there's usually a line right around here. Your feet are usually in up to your ankle, and there'll be a line around, and the whole when you pull your foot out, it'll be covered with the stuff. So they wash your feet, and then they clean it, and they usually have like 2 or 3 tubs so that one person can be going while this one's being cleaned, and then when this one's cleaned, somebody starts about the time this one's done. Because if you take 15, 20 minutes per person, and you've got the time in between and they explain things to you, it can take a while to do 8 or 10 people. So I recommend it highly, even if you only do it one time, just to experience it. And I paid $40 for a session, and I paid $25 for a session. And I think I did one that was free. But would I do it? Yeah. But matter of fact, we're thinking about getting one so that we can do them at the yurt, because Amy does a lot of healing work as well, and she's excellent at it. So that's something we're thinking about adding to what we do. And I think that anybody out there that can get to it, and all you do is look it up. Somebody will be having it somewhere in your area, and get to it and experience it. You know, everything we're doing is an experiment, from our breath to our hydration, but we have to listen to the body because the body knows and it cannot lie to us. And part of the reason we're not healing is when we say, I'm going to do a detox and I'm going to heal my body. Well, the body's been listening to you lie to it, like New Year's resolutions and all this stuff, your whole life. And when you commit, truly commit to your health, and your body knows it, the body will heal. Because right now, the story is, and it's listening all the time, the story is that I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm weak, that I don't know what to do, that there's no answer for what this is, or I'm stuck with this dis-ease in my body. Well, that's not true. These are all frequencies. They're all controlled by your breath, your hydration, your movement, your rest, all of it. And the diaphragm is the biggest pump in the body, not the heart. When you use it properly and you maximize the pressure in and the pressure out, it'll heal. It doesn't have a choice. If you're committed to it, it will do it. Okay, I'll end right there.
What do you think about those foot pads, Gary?
I think they're amazing. Everybody should do them.
But you don't really know what's in it. You know, there are so many, all from China.
Well, buy an American one.
I haven't found that one. I will, because I have them. I actually have them here, and I have used them. And
Yeah, I mean, and they work.
The feet feel very sticky then the next morning.
Yeah, mine don't. I just feel good. I just feel good all over. But that's my intention when I go in there too. So intention is everything.
Yeah, and we often go in it with like, well, let's see if it works.
Yes. Yeah, and
That's human
and
nature.
and again, your body's listening. If you're saying it's not going to work, well, these things are going to stick in your body because your body won't release it,
Right. Yeah.
right? And your body is, you cannot speak anything that your body does not want you to speak. All those things you're hiding that deep, dark place in the back of your mind you don't want anybody to know about, your body will not let you speak about that because it's built a wall between you and the outside world, and it won't let that information out. And as soon as that information gets out into the universe, even if nobody else hears it, as long as you do and you can let it go, it'll regenerate whatever area that is, whether it's fear or anger or self-doubt or depression, or it doesn't matter. Something is causing it. I will say with depression, that's kind of off top subject here, but with depression, they usually don't know why. And you can use eye rotation. And that eye rotation, because there's 4 quadrants in the mind, everything in the body seems to run in four lymphatic stages. And how many stages of cancer are there? 4. They just came up with a 5th one because they can't just leave things. And they'll get more money for research on that. But the whole thing is, go out and explore, experience life like you've never experienced before, laugh, play, have fun, and in my businesses, I had that, but I kind of lost it. And I've been all these years trying to gain it back. So it's starting to rain here, so I'm going to go to the van. So just bear with me. But ionic foot baths, doing your breath work, these are extremely important things to do. So I'll leave it there because I'm going to head for the van. It's starting to rain. Wind's coming up and I don't have any protection on my microphone.
Okay, so since Gary had mentioned that you can find iconic foot baths for different kinds of prices, I did find a couple on Amazon. Now, as I was looking at them, they all come, like, obviously it comes in a kit, and they all come with sea salt, and some of them say do not use Epsom salt. So,
Oh, okay.
so do you think that that's a big deal, or it's all good?
I say whatever the machine says,
Do
that's
that.
what you should use.
Okay.
Because if
Okay.
some say Epsom salt and some say there may be a difference between those machines.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and then it even said on some of them that if you use too much salt, the machine will actually shut off. So I found that to be interesting too. So, and then like when you're done with it, do you just like dump it down the toilet
We usually dump it in the garden.
in the garden? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So
But there are things about that too, because a lot of plants can't do a lot of salt. So that can be an issue. But they just take it and dump it out off the fence out behind the house.
yeah.
And go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, when we're trying to get rid of some of our plants, we mix water and salt and
Yeah.
vinegar, and so that we're kind of dehydrating the plant. So yeah, that's why I was like, ooh, I don't know if I want to dump that in my garden.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Well, there's a lot of salt missing in the garden today. Because like celery has salt in it, has sodium in it. And it takes a lot of water for celery. So again, it's one of those things you have to experiment with and find out what's right for you and the machine you're using. So I would go by the instructions, whatever comes on the machine, and just leave it at that.
Okay. And so then, Gary, have you seen those pads that you wear throughout the night? And then
I
in the
have
morning
seen
you
them.
turn. Okay, now what do you think? Do you think use them, don't use them. The iconic bath is better. Because I don't really know anything about those pads, and I think it's interesting that wow, they're so black the next, after a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
So I just don't know how those work and if they're beneficial for us to be using.
I believe they're beneficial, but I don't believe they're as beneficial as the ionic foot bath.
Okay, so there you have it. Use your iconic foot bath. But if you
Yes.
can't, use the pads. I mean, you just do the best that you can with what you're able to do.
Yeah.
So,
And
okay.
and you wouldn't do that every day. It would probably be every 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks, like once a month, something like that. It'll probably say that right in the instructions with the machine when you get it. It should tell you how many times that you could do it in a day. I mean, in a over a period of time. Because when I was doing them back in Maine, and I'm in Colorado now, still in Cortez, um, we would do them like it might be every 2 or 3 months. But I don't know all I know is you wouldn't want to do it every day. It's like, okay, I'm going to fast and I'm not going to eat and I'm going to do it for 5 years. Well, it's not going to work. You have to figure things out. And your body is your own signature, your own chemistry footprint. And what works for one person may not work for you. And we see that all the time. But to detox out anything out of the body is a good thing. And like I said, when you can pull parasites out through your feet, that's amazing. And it's all because of the electrical charge. The parasites love low oxygen and dehydration, low energy. That's what they love. And when you're eating fruits, berries, melons, even veggies, you're increasing your energy. And when you're doing this foot bath, you're increasing the energy around your feet, which is going through your whole body. All these things want to exit. And that's exactly what they're doing because they can't handle it. It's like being locked in a room with music that you absolutely hate, and they crank it up so loud that you can't handle it, and you'll do anything to get out of that room. Well, that's what's happening with parasites. The frequency is going up, and they start shaking, and all of a sudden they want to exit, and that's what some herbs do. Uh, that's what the body does. And the lower our oxygen, the lower our energy, the bigger their colonies can become, the bigger they can become. They've taken worms out of people that were uh, 3 to 4 feet long. I think there's been some that are a lot longer than that, but these things can grow a foot a year. Well, if it's been in there for 5 years, that's 5 feet. And they don't stop growing and they don't stop eating. People that can't gain weight usually have a parasite issue, and we have parasites all the time. They say that American food is so clean that we don't have. That's not true. That's just it's not even a half truth. That's just an out and out lie. Anything that's alive in the body that can overgrow and cause an issue is a parasite. Yeast, mold, fungus, flukes, and all these different parasites that are in our body. It's the energy level in the body that keeps them at bay because we have to have them in there. Like yeast, mold, and fungus, if we're eating food and it has a lot of toxins in it, they're there to eat it. Well, if we keep eating it and we're low on oxygen and energy, their colony is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're going to have fungus problems. We're going to have yeast and mold problems, like with peanut allergies. That's a mold issue. And they're they're just masking with their synthetic meds. They're just masking the symptoms, and that is growing bigger and bigger and bigger, just like a tumor. it grows bigger and bigger and bigger because it's in the lymphatic system and they're trying to fix it through the blood, and you can't do that. Well, you can, but because it's the lymph's job to take care of the blood, to keep it clean. And I guess I get what they're doing. It don't, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't work very well. They're putting acids in the blood, hoping the lymphatic system, which is already compromised, will go in and alkalize the blood and it'll kickstart it. Well, why bother doing that when you can just go clean it? But they won't even talk about it. So anyway, I get off my soapbox.
Okay, but
Okay.
like that was a perfect lead in because another question that I had in my long list of questions is somebody asked, oh wait, let me see where it was. Oh yes, have you ever heard of using oregano seed oil for a parasite cleanse? And do you recommend it?
I'd have to do some research on that. I do know it. I don't know it that well because I use herbs like wormwood and matter of fact, somewhere around here, I've got a tincture, and it's wormwood and black walnut hull, and it's some of the worst tasting stuff you have. I mean, it is so gross tasting, but if you want to get rid of parasites, you got to do it. Uh, but you can make you can get it in a capsule, like the herbs. You get the wormwood and the black walnut hull, and you take a capsule and you put it in that, and then you can swallow it. And when it dissolves, then it does its thing. Uh, I will say it's probably not as fast because it has to go through the digestive process. When you do a tincture in your mouth of wormwood and black walnut hull, might even been a third one in there. Uh, you have two little holes under your tongue that go directly to your heart. So it instantly goes into the bloodstream. And anything that's in the body, because that's being distributed around to all the cells, anything goes in the body, it's going to make it to where those parasites are. And another thing parasites do is they're your cravings. When they get hungry, they live on the blood, but they're attached to your nervous system. So, like when you're fasting, detoxing, you'll get an image of something like I don't know, pizza or ice cream or something that would be sugary or a comfort food. They're doing it. The parasites are doing it. They're sending you images because they need to eat. They're hungry. Same thing is true with nicotine. That's something that's alive in there that's living on that nicotine, and it is what gives you the craving to want to smoke another cigarette. So
Yeah,
the
the
body
other,
is
okay.
go,
Yeah,
go ahead.
no, go. I thought you were done. I was going to say another ingredient is you can do the oregano, but it's clove. See
Yeah,
a lot of
clove, yes.
yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
You finish, Gary. Sorry.
And we make a tea, and it's a Japanese green tea. I can't pronounce the name of it, not because but just because I don't know what the word is, but it's a Japanese green tea, and we put coconut oil in it. This Amy does this for us. Coconut oil, clove, and what's the other ingredient? Oh, and she uses molasses too. Not blackstrap, but molasses, and it is one of the best cups of tea I think I've ever had. So we do try to do one of those a day, especially when we're fasting. And so we fast between gigs. So this last one has been, we'll do 5 days, I think. And then we'll go on a weekend and we'll eat the day of, because what we found is the first one we did was 6 days and we went right through and tried to do a gig. And it takes so much energy to do the gig that they were, they weren't off, but they weren't feeling that well. So what we decided to do was the day of the show, we would have a meal. and then see how that went. And we ended up, that's what we're doing. The day of the show, we eat just before the show, maybe 2 hours before. Then we go do the show because we have to put up the equipment, do the show, take the equipment down. And sometimes we have to drive for 2 or 3 hours to get to the area where we're going to do the next show. And that has worked out really well. And as soon as the weekend of playing is done, then we go back on the fast. And it might be 2 days, it might be 3 days, it might be 4. And then we'll go eat a little bit, do the show. And that's worked out really well for all of us. But you have to figure out, and Jody, he started out on the master cleanse, but it wasn't enough because he wasn't doing the dark maple syrup. So he was getting really hungry. So he switched to juice. And that's worked really well for him. He doesn't get hungry. So unless we're willing to explore what's going on and listen to our body, because it can't lie to us. If it needs something, there's a reason. But mostly what it needs is oxygen through breath, hydration, nutrition, movement, rest, grounding to the earth, and changing your story from I'm never going to heal to I'm an infinite being, and every breath I take helps heal my body. And I'm getting stronger. My mind is getting clearer. My heart is relaxing. My lungs are relaxing in there. Because of the way I'm breathing now, I'm able to get more air into my lungs, which puts more air into, or oxygen into my blood to oxygenate, feed, and hydrate the cells. And then the lymph comes along, cleans it. And when we get congested, which is why we're doing detoxes, because most of our food is dead, and it's putting so much pressure on the pancreas and the adrenals that you end up with adrenal fatigue, and your sugars are all off because we're eating too much sugar, because it's in everything. It's like estrogen. You know, you wonder why guys that drink beers get big boobs and bellies. It's because hops is only second to soy in estrogen. Well, if you get too much estrogen in the male body, that's what happens. You know, they used to make beer out of yarrow, which was actually almost like a medicinal drink, even though it was fermented. But then they changed the hops, which increased the estrogen in the body, male and female. And soy is in everything, and that is the highest form of estrogen that you can put in the body, and hops is right there with it. They're almost tied for first place. And that's why beer is so big. And what is it? It's yeast. So if you get a yeast overgrowth, you start to blow up. So I'll end right there.
Well, thank you, Gary, for all of that. Does anybody want to add anything or say anything before I move on? I have 2 more questions.
Go ahead, Katie.
Okay, well, so when Gary was talking, he actually referenced 2 questions that I have. So let's go with this one. Okay, so you mentioned, oh no, where did I go? Oh yes, you mentioned juicing. You said that your friend was doing the master cleanse, but he wasn't having enough maple syrup, so he's hungry, so now he's doing the juice fast. Anyway, somebody asked, when you purchase bags of like oranges to do your juicing for a couple of days, do you store those oranges in your refrigerator or do you leave them out? So I'm guessing this person is thinking like they bought like 6 bags of oranges to juice for the next couple of days, and they are wondering what should they do? Leave them on the counter or put them in the refrigerator? What do you guys recommend?
I'd leave them on the counter. Refrigerators dehydrate things. And the one thing you don't want to do is dehydrate your orange. Now, you may lose a few, but what I would do is not buy so many unless they can't get to some place. But I don't know how many they use in a day, but 6 bags of oranges depends on, I'm thinking of those big bags you get when you go to the flea markets and stuff, like down in Florida. Uh, so I don't know how many oranges are in a bag, but I would not put them in the fridge. I'd just leave them out, and because that's what refrigerators do. They're defrosting, so they're dehydrating your fruits, berries, and melons.
Good to know. Yeah, good to know. And then like another thing that this is what I do, but I only make my juice as I drink it. I don't make it ahead of time because
Right.
I've heard that when you make it ahead of time, it exposes the juice to oxygen and then that kind of takes away the nutrients, the electricity, So just for those who are able to do that, to juice like when you're going to drink the juice versus making a whole bunch of juices and then letting them sit.
Yeah, that's all true. I do my master cleanse 1 glass at a time. Now we have been making, and this I found out too about the master cleanse. So we have a 2-gallon container that we're all working off, and I make mine individual, but Amy and Jody are working off that. Because it's not that he's not having the master cleanse, it's that he is uh, switched to the juice because it makes him feel full, and it's still a detox. But I forgot where I was going with that. So, so I don't put the maple syrup in it. I used to make I'd make 2 gallons, and I'd put the lemon and the salt in it, and then I'd put the master cleanse in it. Well, the sugar will make it ferment quicker, so I don't put the maple syrup in until I actually pour it in my glass. Then I put the maple syrup in, and then I drink that. And the lemon water with the salt in it will last a lot longer sitting on the counter than if the maple syrup is in it. So I did find that out. And I've been
That's
doing it.
good. That's good to know, especially for those who have to make that ahead of time. So thank
Right.
you for sharing that with us, Gary.
Yes.
Um, and then another, oh, does anybody else want to add anything?
I was going to say that when I buy my oranges, before when I was purchasing them like in bulk, we would get boxes that were 80 counts and they were cold already. So when it was cooler outside, we would just leave them in the garage because the garage always stayed cool.
Yep.
But then when it was warmer, though, since they'd already been refrigerated, we were storing them in a refrigerator. But if they hadn't been refrigerated, no, I would not have.
Yeah, and the refrigerators years ago built all that ice around the ice box because
Mm-hmm.
they didn't dehydrate. So you'd be in there, you'd have a cupcake, there'd be enough room for a cupcake because it'd be so much ice, and you'd have to shut the refrigerator down and chip all that stuff out of there to clean it so you could use the full storage thing again. And that's how they came up with the refrigerators that dehydrate because they're getting rid of the ice as fast as the ice would build. But it's happening through the whole refrigerator, not just the freezer. Uh, Now, if you have a pantry or some type of a underground thing where you store potatoes and stuff, apples. You can put your oranges in there. It is nice to have it in a cool place, but you don't want it where it can dehydrate. That'd be my only thing.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and Sarah, I don't know. I think it was last week's show because this question is fairly new to me. But they were talking about banana popsicles, and I remember you saying that growing up, you remember a parent always giving you a banana popsicle,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and they were wondering if they want to make banana popsicles. Um, oh, where is it? Oh, do you let the bananas ripen and then freeze them into the popsicles, or do you? purchase them and just put them in the freezer right away. And by the way, as a friendly reminder, when you're using when you're going to freeze banana, it is highly recommended that you peel them first.
Oh, absolutely.
I just
I
thought
mean,
if for
I
anyone
have,
who's listening, I better mention
yeah,
peel the banana
yeah,
before you freeze
yes,
it.
definitely. I have no idea what the lady did when we were kids. I mean, they never tasted over ripened or anything. But if I did it now, I would definitely let them ripen and then lay them on like a cookie sheet or something like that, then let them freeze and then bag them up.
Okay.
But yeah, she would just have them and they'd be in those little sandwich bags and she just hand them out to us as kids. But yeah, they were good. Nothing special. Just throw them in the freezer. And people make banana. It's called nice cream now. And then you have frozen bananas. You bring them out. You let them come to not come to temperature, but you don't want them to be rock hard. And then you can throw them in something like a Vitamix, or I think they even have like a Ninja thing now or something that makes ice cream with it, and it's really good.
Well, you know what? Had to buy I bought my dad a Nama J2 juicer for Father's Day. My siblings and I did
Mm-hmm.
that. And then
Nice.
because I was moving to North Carolina, I had to buy another one. Thank God my siblings helped me with the first one, so I wasn't buying two all on my own. But they were running a promotion where you could get a sorbet attachment. And I have to tell you, this summer, I have thoroughly enjoyed that sorbet attachment. So if you have a Namen J2 juicer, you can get the sorbet attachment, and it is really good. Really, really
That's
good.
awesome. That is
Yes.
awesome.
Uh-huh. Okay, so that was the banana one. Okay, so yeah, and the reason why you want to let it ripen is because then it creates more of the sugars that your body wants to use. In case of our listeners don't know that, that's why we say ripen them up. So you want the banana to be kind of brown. And I know that's not what we're used to, but yes, that's what you want. And then also, someone asked about if you wanted to make like popsicles with the watermelon juice. Have any of you ever used the watermelon juice? And then when it defrosts, does it still taste good? Because there are some juices that they do not taste good after you defrost them. So, what do you guys know about watermelon juice?
I have never done it, so I can't
No.
tell you what it would taste like defrosted, or I mean, as a
Yeah,
popsicle.
yeah. I've never done it either. That's why I was like, I'm
And
gonna have to ask the group.
if I,
Yeah.
I think if I did it, I wouldn't actually just use just the juice. I would use the slush basically.
Mhm.
So I would just juice the whole, or I would probably blend the whole watermelon and make it like a slush, and then pour the whole thing in, not just the juice.
You know,
You know
that
what I
is a
mean?
good point. That is a good
Yeah.
point. Because,
I mean,
and
that's the
then,
same thing if I were to make strawberry or anything, and I think that's how you make it, really.
yeah,
Yeah.
I, I don't know because I don't really make popsicles. So that's why I was like, I'm gonna have to ask the
Yeah.
group on that one.
I would
I don't have
freeze
an
the whole
answer.
I would freeze the whole thing in the little molds.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've had a strawberry popsicle. I got it from Trader Joe's, and it was strawberry juice, but it had slices and chunks of strawberry all through it,
Well,
which
yeah,
was really
that's what
good.
I think would be really good because
Right.
that like when the question came to me, I was like, well, if it's just watermelon juice, I think that would be kind of boring. I would want like some of the watermelon or put the strawberries in or even blueberries, you know. Well,
Yeah.
wait, but with melon, you're supposed to eat it alone or leave it alone. So, anyway,
Right.
okay. Well, we answered the question the best that we could. Does anybody want to say anything else?
Other than they're delicious and they're really
Mm-hmm.
good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then another question that kind of Gary alluded to when he was talking a little bit ago, and it's definitely something I know Sarah is really good at. Um, Someone was asking again about, if it's our nervous system that wants us to consume like heavier feeling or crunchier things, how do we stop that? how do we take control of our nervous system so that we don't have those cravings? And by the way, we all know that also the cravings come from, as Gary was telling us earlier today, it does come from the parasites, but it's also a nervous system response. So if you guys could give us some ideas on what we could do instead of eating those heavier and crunchier items, that would be great.
You, I mean, one is just, break the habit and work on grounding, because a lot of the crunch stuff, it just grounds us to the earth, really. That makes us, it gives us, like I don't know exactly, but it's the sensation and it helps us to ground. But you could eat stuff more like celery, or, something that's a little bit more crunchy. Maybe some mouth exercises, but that would just be me throwing something out there. Of course, do your own grounding, that kind of stuff, barefoot grounding, things like that. But Gary, do you have any ideas?
Yeah. First, change your mind. When it comes up, go change. Okay. And that's a trigger for you to ignore your body. It's not really your body, it's the parasites in your body. So you're ignoring the parasites. Another one is to take, I have a video on this called organic popcorn, where you take celery and you wash it and you cut it into little small pieces, and you put it in a bowl and you put a little salt on it and you eat it like popcorn. And you get that crunch and you get a hydrating, very soothing snack that's really good for your whole body. But mostly, if you have a craving, it could be from watching television, because they're putting those ads out there about this food all the time, right? Get up and do something different. Or get up and have a cup of tea, or have something that's going to satisfy your body, but is still healthy. And over time, these are muscles, right? And because we don't know that the parasites are doing that to us, we think that we're really having cravings and we have to fight them. Well, anything you fight, what you resist, persists. Do your breath work. Get up and do some movements. Go for a walk, and those cravings will go away, because it's because you're sitting and they're hungry that they're able to do that. But when you say shift or change, that's your thought pattern. And you get up and you do something different, or you write a letter to somebody. I mean, how many years has it been since people wrote letters? Um, and I'm sure there's still some that do, but most don't. And I'm guilty of that myself. Um, but change your focus, change your frame, and your commitment and your integrity to yourself. Once you know that they're the ones that are doing it, then eliminate them by raising your energy through your breath. Uh, when you raise that energy, they can't handle it. They'll let go of that nervous system and they'll leave the body any way they can. They'll find a way out. People have even had parasites come out of their eyes. Um, so this is a real issue, and it's something we've been lied to about for a long time. And I've known we've always had parasites. I just didn't realize how much they were affecting our bodies, and that we have complete control over them. There are tons of things that we can do to get rid of them, and pull them back to where their colony is the exact size it needs to be to help our body stay healthy, because that's why they're there. Now, some of the other parasites, not so much, but like your parasites in your liver and your gallbladder, I mean, those things need to get out of there, and the master cleanse will get rid of those. The salt will help get rid of those because you're raising your energy. So I'll end right there. I think I'm rambling here.
Okay.
No, you're not.
Do we have
Oh,
time to do one more question, Tony?
yeah, we have, but I want to add to the cravings part, drink a glass of water.
Yeah.
Okay, go on, Katie.
Okay, and so this is going to be the last question, even though it's not question number 15, but just because we've been doing the show for an hour, but I wanted to ask it as the last question because our good friend Gary, I think we're resonating at the same level because he had a great introduction to my next question. He mentioned cutting up celery and eating it as popcorn. Well, I have a friend who is just starting this journey, and so she's at the very beginning, and she is highly addicted to movie theater popcorn. Like she eats it almost every single day. And so we were talking about alternatives, and she has found two different kinds of popcorns that she likes that's not movie theater. One has sea salt, popcorn seeds, and coconut oil, and the other one has sea salt, popcorn seeds, and is it sapphire oil, I think, or sunflower oil? Anyways, well, wait, let me look at her question because she told me what it was. It's sunflower oil, sunflower oil. And so
Okay, yeah.
now we're wondering which one is the healthier alternative to the movie theater popcorn? Is it the one with the sunflower oil or is it the one with the coconut oil?
I would go for the coconut oil, but still bad. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, we're transitioning. It's first of all, the whole corn thing, it doesn't even digest, so it's not good for your body anyway. And she doesn't want to keep eating it every day. I mean, I think her goal could be is to eat less and not every day. And then, one day you don't, then 2 days you don't, 3 days you don't until you're over it. I don't know if there is a replacement. I think it's a mental thing too. Don't you think, Carrie? Wanting
Yeah.
to have that. I mean, I love the smell of it. I don't even like the taste. I don't
Yeah.
know. But in the movie theaters, you have it, you smell that caramel thing, and you just mindlessly eat away this big bucket of corn.
Yep.
It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, no, not my thing, not healthy, not even with coconut oil. And you get a lot of salt, more than would be good.
Well, thank you everyone for answering these questions today. These are always so fun, to be honest with you. And I hope our audience also enjoys them. And if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to Toni, Sarah, Gary, or me, and we will eventually get to them. But thank you so much for letting me ask them.
Yeah,
And
thank you, Katie, always
Mhm.
coming up
Yeah.
with with the stuff. I would say if you have questions, send an email to healthywithfruit@gmail.com, and yeah, we will answer them. And you can always get it answered on in the chat, and that's pretty much it, actually. Oh yeah, the next 2 weeks we will not be here. We are going to take a little vacation
Oh,
and enjoy the scenery. I am going to meet Katie somewhere in the mountains in North Carolina. It's going to be fun, and look forward to it. And I would say till the next time, which is
the
what is it?
25th.
Okay, 26th.
No, the 25th.
25.
25, yes.
Okay.
So
Well,
we will
that's so
see you guys
wonderful. Have
all
a
on the
wonderful
25th.
time.
Yeah.
Yes. Much love to everyone. Take care
Yeah.
and enjoy your travels, both of you.
yes.
And
Yes.
Gary, wherever
Thank
you're
you.
heading around to.
Yeah.
Gary
All
is
over,
always traveling.
all over
Yes.
Colorado. I don't know. We probably put on 1,000 miles in a
Oh,
month.
Wow.
wow. Oh,
so
Gary,
awesome.
we may join you at some point because our very old RV is completely fixed up.
All right.
Yeah.
I love it.
We had a gentleman driving all the way from Kentucky, and I think he was in not even 30. He knew everything about that RV. It's a Refcon, and it's a very special one. And yeah, it's running beautifully now.
All right.
So now I need to find somebody who can do some nice paint work on the outside.
Oh, you mean spray paint it?
Yeah, something.
Yep.
Do some fun with it. I have ideas, so. All right, so till the next time, everyone have an awesome days, weeks ahead of you, and yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you all.
Love you
Much
all.
love.
See you later.
Bye, everyone. Much love.
Bye bye.
Bye.